Hey, gun people, Texas gun people. I want to go over the propositions on this ballot. Now, in the primary voting, these aren't put up ballots for law. These are just putting up telling Republicans what you think. So if you're a conservative voter, here's what you want to consider when you're voting. I'm going to tell you how I'm voting. I'm pretty much voting yes on all of them. There's a couple that I'm kind of iffy on, but I'll go through them. So one of the propositions on here is Texas should not restrict or prohibit prayer in public schools. I'm on the fence on this one. I don't like government restricting things. However, if they say you can't restrict it, we're going to have prayer rooms and rugs and in the middle of classes and music playing over the speaker and all kind of other crap. To me, schools should be about learning. If you want to have a class on religion, knock yourself out. But I think schools probably ought to keep total religion freedom out of it. You can wear what you want. You can have your own religion. You don't need to go practice it while you're at school. That's kind of my opinion. I know I'm going to get some haters from the hardcore religious people that think, oh, they took God out of schools and that's why the country's failing. Well, there may be some merit to that. But the problem is when they took God out, this country was primarily Christian. And this country is not going to say that only Christian is allowed. So if you allow Christian, then you allow everything else. And everybody knows where that goes. So, but my anti-government control side says I should vote yes on this. Number 2, Texas should reject restrictions on the right to keep and bear. This is a no-brainer. Anybody with a brain ought to be, hell yeah, Texas should reject any restrictions on guns. It's freaking out of control. The federal government keeps coming in and pushing their bullshit. So this is no-brainer for me, yes. Number 3, Proposition 3, Texas should ban the practice of taxpayer-funded lobbying, which allows tax dollars to be spent on lobbyists. Why do you need to ask this question if you're a freaking conservative? You shouldn't. If the Republican Party is wondering where the Republicans stand, why are you asking this freaking question? Anybody that votes no on this is a freaking idiot. I can't believe that somebody would want their tax dollars to allow government to take money from me to promote positions that help government and doesn't help me. That's just a freaking no-brainer. Of course, Texas should ban the practice of taxpayer-funded lobbying. Number 4, Texas should support construction of physical barrier, existing defense-grade surveillance equipment along the border. Again, I think yes on this. However, I don't like Texas tax dollars paying for what the government should be doing. Government restricts funding to the border because they want to flood the country with dumbed down liberal voters that cross illegally and promote crime, etc. So the government, the left-wing federal government, holds money, and now Texas taxpayers have to pick up the bill. But the alternative is to leave it in the hands of the federal government and have them flood and overrun Texas. So I'm voting yes for that. And again, this isn't to make it a law. This is just telling Republicans, hey, you big dummies, this is what's important. Of course, they ain't going to listen any damn way. Texas parents and legal guardians of public school children under the age of 18 should be the sole decision makers for all children's health care decisions, including but not limited to psychological assessment, treatment, contraception, sex education. Look, government, when they take over things, they push their agenda. Parents should be allowed, or should be the primary decision. I think this is regarding a school can get your kid to have an abortion without the parent's knowledge. I think that's where this is ending or pointing, but I'm not sure. But regardless, citizens' rights should outweigh state rights. I don't think the state ought to be controlling kids on certain medical treatment and other things. So I'm voting yes on that one too. Texas should ban chemical castration. This is about all the people, and I guess 3 years old, they're changing biological sex. I guess if you want to remove your sex organs at 3, parents are doing that to kids. So this is saying, do you think Texas should ban these practices on this sex change? because you have parents doing this to kids. I'm voting yes on this. And I know somebody's going to say, you're on the fence, you don't like government control, but look, children don't have choices, and children need protection from idiots. And children have parents that are idiots. I'm sorry. I know all you parents out there think as soon as you have a kid, you've got this great wealth and suddenly you know everything and nobody should ever tell you how to do anything with your kid. Well, I'm sorry. There's idiots out there that do bad things with their kids, even though they're parents. So I'm voting yes for this only because it's against the liberal left agenda more than anything. Number 7, Texas should protect and preserve all historical monuments. This is mainly about the Alamo. They're not going to protect other historical monuments. Dallas is spending $600,000 every 6 weeks to remove a statue because it offends a certain color of people. So, look, if there's a monument up, deal with it. You want to, we got to take it down. It's offensive and it bothers me. If you don't take it down, we're going to riot and burn down the city and we're going to paint and destroy it. And you should spend all our tax dollars and raise property taxes so you can spend $600,000 to remove a statue that's been there for freaking 20 or 30 or 50 years. It's freaking outrageous. So I'm voting yes on that one. And number 8, Texas election officials should heed directives of the Office of Government to purge illegal voters. Why do you have to ask this? Why are you freaking Republicans asking people, should you stop illegal voters and verify that voters are... Of course you should. This is a no freaking brainer. See, this is the Republicans testing to see how many Republicans are paying attention or give a shit. Because if we don't answer yes on these, they're going to say, oh, this isn't a big issue. People don't care, so why should we worry about it? This isn't going to affect a lot of people. I'm voting yes on that one too, because it doesn't take 2 freaking brain cells to figure out if you let illegals vote, liberals are going to be bussing them in to freaking win so they can dumb down the American voting public and ruin the country like they do every liberal city that they run. Bail in Texas should be based on a person's danger to society and risk of flight, not on the person's ability to pay. You really got to ask this? I mean, this is what our Republican Party needs to ask. They're so freaking stupid, they don't know the answer to this. Of course you should base it on a danger. You shouldn't be penalizing people that can pay and then letting other people out who are dangerous that can't pay. That's outrageous. This is a no-brainer, yes. And last but not least, another no-brainer. And of course, a freaking Republican elected official has to ask this. Texas should limit our legislators to 12 years. Hell, they ought to limit them to 10 or 8. It's freaking outrageous. You got people in the Texas state senate and other places that have been in the damn government system for 24 and 28 years. They're nothing but a Pelosi or Harry Reid or the other idiots that spend their whole life in Washington and they got no clue of the real life. And they don't have to live with their decisions because they live in their ivory tower in Washington. It ought to be less than 12 years. But the fact that you're asking me if you need to limit it to 12 tells me you're a freaking idiot. All right, so that's how I'm voting in the propositions. There they are. I'll put a list in the description. So if you want to copy it, I think I'm just going yes for everything. So it's pretty easy to me. I'm voting yes on all these. And that's my opinion. And you can disagree in the comments. I don't care. All right, we'll end that there.